What you're about to see is the remarkable account of one of the most successful human rights campaigns of this century. On August the 15th, 1985, a Hare Krishna devotee, Marie-Anne Farrow, dressed in her bridal gown, announced at a press conference in front of the Soviet embassy in Stockholm, Sweden, that she would fast there until Soviet officials released her fiancé, Valentin Yurov, from a psychiatric institution in Moscow. Swedish newspapers gave her hunger strike daily front-page coverage, and her image appeared on nightly television newscasts, generating tremendous sympathy amongst the Swedish people. 1 month later, the Soviets finally relented and put Valentin Yurov on a plane to Stockholm. Valentin then travelled extensively throughout the world, speaking out strongly on behalf of the Soviet devotees who remained imprisoned. In Australia, the campaign to free the Soviet Hare Krishnas captured the hearts of a group of children at the Hare Krishna school at Murwillumbah in northern New South Wales. Their concern, in turn, captured the hearts and, in many cases, the tears of the nation, and EMI Records released this record nationally. The poet John Donne once said, "Anyone's death due to ignorance diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind." And in the words of Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie in their song, "We Are the World," there's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. What they mean, of course, is that if we help others on this planet, then we're helping ourselves. Prahad and the Krishna kids, as they became known, were not just concerned about improving the material bodily situation, but were anxious about their friends in the Soviet Union, who were not being allowed to use their human form of life to understand higher spiritual values. The children became mobilized when they learned of a Hare Krishna girl who died when she was separated from her mother in a Soviet labor camp. It seemed it was something these Krishna school children could relate to. They really cared and wanted to help secure the release of the Soviet devotees interned in prisons, labor camps and psychiatric institutions. To everyone's surprise, the campaign of the Krishna Kids encouraged thousands of children across the nation to write letters of concern to world leaders. While the Krishna Kids campaign was going on in Australia, devotees in Europe and America had established petition campaigns, and thousands of postcards were already being sent from concerned people from around the world to the Soviet authorities. The campaigns were being organised from the headquarters of the campaign to free the Soviet Hare Krishnas in Sweden, and also by Amnesty International. Here in Australia, devotees started a nationwide petition campaign in a bus to collect thousands of signatures to bring further attention to the plight of Soviet Krishna devotees imprisoned for their religious beliefs. The campaign showed the strong support and concern from the people of Australia that human rights should be given to members of the Hare Krishna movement in the Soviet Union. This next song isn't performed by the Krishna Kids, it's performed by devotees on the travelling temple.
In every town and village, we are traveling your way, with a plea for our freedom, for our land so far, far away. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
14 Hare Krishna devotees left Sydney on Palm Sunday to travel around Australia gathering signatures for a petition calling on Kremlin leader Mikhail Gorbachev to put a stop to religious persecution of Russian Hare Krishna. Krishnas are determined in their quest to bring the world public opinion to bear on Russia, so that innocent friends imprisoned and abused harshly for their religious beliefs are set free.
1,000,000 voices will tell them they are wrong, with a plea for their freedom, that Moscow should hear our song. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Traveling tempo will go on till they're set free. Prabhupada's hopes are met for the whole world to see. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In every town and village we are traveling your way. Now it's time for the world to hear what we have to say. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
The imprisonment of the Soviet Hare Krishnas seemed to open these children's eyes to the harsh realities that exist in the world. People of all races and all religions must be given the basic human rights that allow them to be creative and express their individuality in human society. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, throughout history, truth and justice always prevail. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they have seemed invincible, but in the end they always fall. Think of it, always. On the back of the Krishna Kids album, the children themselves voiced their own concern. Leaders in all fields are a source of inspiration, especially to the young. Too often, our heroes are also leaders in degradation. We do not want to see this civilization decline and fall as so many great empires have in the past. We're appealing to all leaders to please set a model of good behavior upon which to build the future of the world.
Generation is feeling sad at the indication that the world's gone mad. We have no hesitation in saying what we feel. We have the resolutions to let the world know what is real. We've got war, we've got peace, we've got west, we've got east, we've got black, we've got white, but somewhere in the middle, we've got to all unite. My generation still inside, at the indication that the world's gone mad. We had no hesitation in saying what we feel. We have the resolution We got wants and we got all our needs. So listen to my generation so we can succeed. My generation is feeling sad at the indication that the world's our land. We have no hesitation in saying what we feel. We have the resolutions to let the world know what is real. My generation. My
The following footage is of the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, as he became known, single-handedly introduced this traditional religion of India to the Western countries with unprecedented success. He also went to the Soviet Union and instructed his first disciple there, Anatoly Penyayev. This next song is dedicated to that great man. His activities will one day have future generations amazed that such a humble, caring man actually lived amongst us. His example and his teachings are forever alive in the vast legacy of literature he left behind. In the preface of his epic work, Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada states, human society at the present moment is not in the darkness of oblivion. It has made rapid progress in the field of material comforts, education, and economic development throughout the entire world. But there is a pinprick somewhere in the social body at large, and therefore there are large-scale quarrels even over less important issues. There is a need of a clue as to how humanity can become one in peace, friendship, and prosperity. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya's movement will fill this need, for it's a cultural presentation for the re-spiritualization of the entire human society. Some of the following footage of Srila Prabhupada has only just been recently found, and this is the first time it's been shown.
Seeing the world through the eyes of a child. Why, oh why is the world so wild? Will we ever be united, not divided or misguided? I'm only 12, but he came to me. He said, open your eyes, can't you see? I have been sent to show you the way, to stop all the people being so afraid. Seeing the world through the eyes of a child. Why, oh why is the world so wild? Will we ever be united, not divided or misguided? I have been shown it's real to me. One day the world will be He followed Chaitanya, sets us free. Seeing the world through the eyes of a child. Why, oh why is the world so wild? Will we ever be united, not divided or misguided? Seeing the world through the eyes of a child. Why, oh why is the world so wild? Will we ever be united, not divided or misguided? Seeing the world through the eyes of a child. Why, oh why is the world so wild? Will we ever be united, not divided or misguided?
As the campaign continued, a major breakthrough came in December 1987 when the Australian Prime Minister was in Moscow. While he was there, Mr. Hawke presented Soviet General Secretary Gorbachev with a special request from Prahad that he please release Anatoly Pinyayev, the original Soviet Hare Krishna. Anatoly had been imprisoned for 6 years in a Soviet psychiatric institution. During the December superpower summit that resulted in a treaty banning intermediate-range nuclear missiles, US President Reagan and Soviet leader Gorbachev also discussed human rights. Across the street, dozens of Hare Krishna devotees chanted on a footpath, carrying signs that read, "Mr. Gorbachev, please let our friends go and free the Soviet Hare Krishnas." Inside, White House officials presented a list of names to Soviet officials, including that of Anatoly Pinyayev. The paper was returned with a check mark next to Anatoly's name, signalling that he'd already been freed. Then on June the 20th, 1988, an unusual event occurred. The Soviet authorities finally registered the Hare Krishna movement in Moscow. This was actual proof of the reality of Gorbachev's glasnost policy and a demonstration of the strength of the 4-year international campaign during which 3 of the imprisoned Soviet devotees died. Hare Krishna devotees are now a familiar sight, dancing and chanting through the streets of Moscow and Leningrad. On February the 21st, 1989, 59 members of the Soviet Hare Krishna movement were given permission to attend the annual Krishna festival in Mayapur, India. The possibility of bringing some of those Soviet devotees to Australia was under discussion while this film was being made. Yes, the Hare Krishnas have won their freedom in the Soviet Union, but for the Hare Krishnas in the USSR, this is not the end, it's only the beginning.